This bowl has no filter, no heater, just one light, some plants, antler guppies, ramshorn snails, and a small army of shrimp. Shrimp keepers watching this, you probably think you know what these are, you don't. But let me show you how it all started. This is me carrying a massive box full of stuff into our apartment.
Hey guys!
For what I called a simple project. Yeah, classic.
So, I want to do a fishbowl kind of aquarium, a bowl aquarium, goldfish glass. However, I definitely will not put goldfish in there. This will be for shrimps, maybe some mini fish, I'm not sure. It will be super low tech, actually no tech except for the light. I'm using my Sunsi grow light here, and I think you can get like, at the moment, somewhere around 30% off. So check that out. The grow light works fantastic for me, also for my lotus pond here. I will show you more of that in the future. And I got the idea of a fishbowl aquarium from, what's his name? A guy from Australia, I think. What was his name? Q-Ball Aquatics or something? I'm not sure. I put that in here too. Oh no, actually let me check that. Q-Ball Aquatics, yeah. Q-Ball Aquatics. Gruen is his name, I believe. From Sydney, Australia. And he has some really cool low-tech or no-tech fishbowl tanks for shrimps. And I kind of like want to do something similar, but in my style, of course. And that's what we're doing today.
So I'm starting with a base layer of lava granules. They are super porous, which helps oxygen reach the plant roots and gives beneficial bacteria a ton of surface area to grow on, which is crucial in a setup like this because we don't have mechanical filtration. It basically acts like a biological sponge under the soil and keeps the whole system healthier long term. If you want to try this yourself, I will link the exact stuff I'm using down in the description. So next up is aquasoil. This stuff is packed with nutrients that slowly release into the water and feed the plants right at the root zone. It also helps buffer the water slightly, which is great for shrimp, especially caridina, like the ones I'm adding later.
Alright, so now I like to do the hardscape. I basically want to use some rocks, maybe some wood, I don't know. I have to check if I have something here, because I'm just using materials that I have here right now, so I don't have to buy anything, because this should be very simple and yeah, very basic. So let me check if I have enough material for a nice scape, and then I try to come up with something beautiful. Alright guys, so I decided to go for a rock only scape using these 3 stones here, big main stones, and then some of the elderly gravel from Veal here. Alright, so I start with the biggest and most beautiful stone here as a main stone. I will place it here, or actually a bit more in the front, because we still need enough space for the plants later. And then this one, these are Frodo stones. This one is actually, I don't know what this is. It's not necessarily Frodo stone because it has a kind of like a different color, but I think for this setup it will still work. So I'm trying to come up with something cool here, something natural. This process takes time, but it's actually the most fun part, I think. So just take your time until you are happy with the result, and even if not, you can still change it later. If you just move the stone just a little bit, it will immediately change the whole look. So it's actually quite an interesting process.
So this is what I came up with. Still plenty of room for plants in between the rocks. And like I said, if I want to change something later, I can still do that. Then I quickly added some gravel for detail, before I started planting.
So this time, no sponsoring. I bought them all myself. They are from Aquasabi, which is kind of like the biggest online store for aquarium stuff in Europe, I think. And they have lots and lots of cool shit. So if they sponsor me one day, I'd be really happy. I got lots of Cryptocorini. I will put them here first to show you. Small Echinodoros, more Cryptocorinis. This is almost all Cryptocorini, and I tried to pick plants that are easy and that will do fine without CO2. That's a lot of plants, kind of like 100 euros worth of plants. You don't have to spend as much money as I did for this, but I wanted to make it look cool, and I wanted to try out something new. And Cryptocorini I usually don't use in my scapes, so I thought, why not use kind of like every Cryptocorini there is in this scape? Of course not, there are like thousands. So a tiny plant for the foreground, and it comes in this in vitro liquid here, and this is actually something I don't want in here because it's full of nutrients. I think basically sugar, and you don't want that in your scape. So I have some water here, and now we just kind of like wash it off here. I'm using my hands to break some tiny portions apart of the whole clump here, and then I just use the tweezers to get them in.
Some of the other plants came in rock wool, which is this fluffy yellow stuff around the roots here. It holds moisture and protects the roots during shipping, especially for young and sensitive plants, but you don't want to plant it like this. You want to gently remove as much of the rock wool as possible, especially from around the roots, so they can breathe and spread.
All right, so let me quickly clean up the mess here. So let's get some water in.
I filled the tank with a mix of reverse osmosis water and about 50% tap water, because the shrimp I'm planning to add love it on the softer side. Mocha thought I was peeing in the tank, which, you know, fair. I wasn't, obviously.
All right, I think that's it for today. And we will be going on vacation in 2 days for a week. We'll be in Denmark, and when I come back, I will show you how the scape is looking. And I hope it will look much better than now. So, see you in a week.
Well, I know I said I see you in a week, but life came in between, so here we are 2 months later. I added the shrimp about a month into the cycle. Once the tank was stable, plants were rooted, and there was enough biofilm and microlife for them to graze on. It's always worth the wait. A good cycling phase gives you a solid foundation for everything that comes after. I also added some antler guppy babies from my other tank. Some of them have already grown up a bit.
Hey, that's mine. Stop it.
They've been amazing at helping with algae. If they get too big, I will just move them to my main tank. And hey, they've got family. I've got a whole guppy army living in my lotus pond outside, soaking up the summer sun. The thing I love about this project is how simple it is. I usually run high-tech tanks with CO2 injection, strong lights, heavy fertilization, and I love those too. But there's something special about these low-tech setups. You don't need much, just the right balance of plants, critters, and patience. And the best part, you can have more of them without getting overwhelmed by maintenance. They are beautiful, calming, and kind of magical in their own way. Little self-sustaining worlds right on your shelf. If you enjoyed this video, let me know, or if there's something you would do differently, I'd love to hear that too. I'm always learning, and sharing ideas is part of the fun. And to everyone who drops a comment on every video I post, thank you so much. Honestly, it means so much to me. That kind of support isn't something I take for granted. It's rare these days, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Also, a little something I want to say. I really wish more people would credit where they found an idea. There's nothing wrong with being inspired. We all are. But let's lift each other up by giving credit where it's due. Social media moves fast, but respect and community should still matter. Let's be the kind of creators and hobbyists who build something better together. Take care of your health, your sanity, and your loved ones. I see you in the next one. Peace.